You will stay with us as we stay on this topic. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he hopes to speak with U.S. President Donald Trump on July 4th, amid reports that Washington is halting some weapons deliveries to Ukraine. Speaking from Denmark, Zelensky said American support remains crucial, especially for systems Europe does not have, including missiles for Patriot air defense. He added that Ukraine is counting on continued U.S. assistance to fight Russia. The comments come after reports said the U.S. is reviewing stockpiles and may delay missile shipments. Zelensky is Aarhus for EU Council meetings with Danish and EU leaders. Here's what the Ukrainian president said from Denmark.
About our bilateral relation with the United States and this support, so I hope that maybe tomorrow or in close days, these days, I will speak about it with the President Trump.
Now we're joined back by Patty Crit Payne. Thank you, Patty Crit, for staying with us. Washington says stockpile reviews could delay shipments. Does this signal a strategic pivot or a logistical bottleneck or different leverage to press Ukraine towards negotiation by Trump's means?
Well, it's a bit of both. It is a reality that both for the United States and some of the major Western European countries, their own attrition reserve or the war wastage reserve has considerably got reduced because of supplying weapon systems and ammunition to Ukraine to sustain the war against Russia. And therefore, they do have concerns of their own about their own emergency preparations if there is an eventual conflict they face someday in future. And so there are alarm bells ringing. The second reason is probably more important. If we have witnessed that Russia did not openly come and supported or intervened on behalf of Iran when United States went and bombed the nuclear facilities of Iran, and when United States actively supported Israel in its operations in Iran. So I think there were reasons why Russia did not do it. The logic that Russia gives that they have good relation with Israel may be a smaller reason for that, but the most important reason is perhaps there was some kind of a quid pro quo understanding that Russia reached with the Trump administration for not intervening in the Israel-Iran conflict. And that deal is probably America's reduced support, or Trump administration's reduced support to Zelensky's regime in Ukraine in fight against Russia. And so I think this is a very, very critical phase of the conflict. Ukraine someday must realize that if they actually want to continue the conflict against Russia, then they have to do it with their own resources and weapon systems, which they don't have. They were actually fighting a war with borrowed weapon systems. Those taps or would have got shut down, and that is exactly what is happening now. So I think what is going to happen next is this: United States will tell the European countries, if you genuinely want to continue the war against Russia, then you have to buy the weapons from United States and then supply it to Ukraine, or else you can supply on your own. And I think this is something very difficult for the European countries to do. But eventually, if they feel that they have no option, they will probably do the same. But this is a critical phase of the conflict where it appears that, at least for the time being, we don't know what would happen in future. It seems that America is gradually shifting or moving away from the conflict, leaving a void, which will be very difficult for anyone else to fill up. And Ukraine will definitely get pounded more by the Russians. And the eventual conclusion of the war becomes far more predictable than what it was probably before United States stopped intervening. Back to you.
Thank you, Patty.